Hi friends, welcome back to Teaching in Room 9, our region's largest classroom. My name is Julia and I'm one of the second grade teachers at the Soulard School. But here for Teaching in Room 9, all of my lessons focus on math for second graders. All right, welcome back friends. It's so good to have you here with me. I'm so happy that I get the chance to be here with you. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to be here with me and do some learning here together. All right, so my friends, now I always start with our mindful minute exercise. This way we are able to recenter our body, our heart, and our mind. Focus on the present moment, and that way I know you'll be ready to learn here together. So we are going to, again, just do some mindful breathing here together. You are going to sit up nice and straight and tall, shoulders back to open up your airways. You will breathe in through your nose, counting to 3, and out through your mouth, counting to 3. Try to relax your body, loosen your muscles, let go of any tension you might be feeling. And I also like to close my eyes sometimes because that helps me to really focus and be present in the moment and just be thinking about my breathing. All right, so go ahead and sit up and take a deep breath in through your nose. Counting to 3 and out through your mouth. Counting to 3. Breathe in through your nose. And out through your mouth. All right, friends, so we started talking yesterday about being the best friend that you can be for yourself, the same way that you would for your friends. We talked about yesterday traits of a good friend and how we can do those same things for ourselves, like treating ourselves with respect, being understanding that we are not perfect, we are all humans, and making sure that you're using kind words when you are thinking to yourself or talking to yourself in your mind. So today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how you're able to give yourself some gentle touches. And this might help console you or help you to feel a little bit better when you start to feel overwhelmed by those really big feelings. So keep taking those deep breaths in and out. And one of the ways that you can try to comfort yourself by using a gentle touch is slowly wrapping your arms around your body, giving yourself a little squeeze. I know I have definitely done this, sometimes without even thinking, when I felt so very sad or overwhelmed by how I was feeling in that moment. So as you're taking your deep breaths, try to give yourself a little bit of a squeeze, just like a little hug like this. You deserve it, friends. I wish I could give every single one of my friends out there a hug right now. And unfortunately, during these times, it's kind of hard to give hugs to those that you love. So being able to give yourself a little squeeze and really focusing on your deep breathing. Another thing you can do is holding both of your hands over your heart. Okay, so focus on those deep breathing in and out. I also feel like when you are able to take a moment and listen to your own heartbeat, that helps you to feel present in the moment, reminds us that we are all living and breathing, that everything is going to be okay. The last thing that you can do, friends, is you can hold your own hand. Sometimes I will have my hand set in my lap just like that, and I don't even realize that I'm doing it. And I think that deep down, that means that I'm needing that little bit of an extra support. So you can do all of these things for yourself, which is a great reminder for right now as well, friends. And you want to treat yourself with kindness, respect, and understanding. All right, whenever you are ready, friends, you may open your eyes and we can go ahead and begin. We are going to start with our number of the day exercise today. So go ahead and grab something to write with if you do not already have something to write with. We've been working with our numbers and using so many different forms and ways to represent numbers. And now we're also incorporating money math. Because there are so many different ways that we can put coins and dollars together to give us a set amount. So today our number is the number 73. 73. So go ahead and write down the number 73 at the top of your page. And this is the number we're going to be working with. All right, so our very first one that we do is expanded form. So go ahead and write expanded form for 73. Expanded form expands it out to show the value of each place. Are you ready, friends? Okay, go ahead and hold it up. 3, 2, 1. Nicely done. So 73 is a 7 in the tens place. That means there are 7 tens, and each 10 has a value of 10. So 70 would be our, for our tens, plus our 3 ones. When we put those all together, we get a sum of 73. Next, you are going to write 73 in word form. Try your very best with your spelling, friends. 73. All right, you almost ready, friends? Okay. 3, 2, 1. Nicely done. I can see my friends at home. Some of them have it written out just like I do here. If you do not have it written out like this, go ahead and fix it on your paper now. But I can tell that doing these number of the day exercises is really helping your brain to remember those spelling for our different words or for our different numbers. So 73. Nicely done, friends. Go ahead and erase or get ready another spot on your page, and you are going to do 73 in base 10 drawings. Okay, so you're drawing 73 using base 10 drawings. You ready, friends? Okay, go ahead and hold it up. 3, 2, 1. Nicely done, friends. 73 is 7 tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and then our 3 ones. All right, so now is that tricky part where we are getting into our money math. All right, so what is one way that you can make 73 cents? Go ahead and draw it out now. All right, friends, your drawings do not by any means have to be fancy. Just show the amount for our coins. Hold it up. 3, 2, 1. All right, I'm seeing so many different amazing answers. So 25 is the value of our quarter. So 25 and 2 quarters together is 50 cents. So if we did 3 quarters together, that would be a total of 75 cents. So super close, but it's a little bit over. So we were not able to use 3 quarters, just 2, to give us a value of 50. And then 10 for a dime, another 10 for another dime. So 50, 60, 10 more is 70. And then the only way to get to 3 is 1, 2, 3 pennies. So that is one way that we are able to make 73 cents using coins. Another way that we would be able to make 73 cents using coins would be you could do 1 quarter, which would be 25 cents. And then you could add 4 dimes. Again, dimes are worth 10 cents. So if we had 25 cents for the quarter and 4 dimes would be 25 plus 10 is 35. Another 10, 45, 55, 65. Then you could use 1 nickel. 65 and 5 more would be 70, and then our 3 pennies for 73. You could also do 7 dimes. A dime is worth 10. We know 10, 20, 30. So here's 7. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and 3 pennies. You could also do 5 dimes. That would be 50 cents. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 cents 4 nickels, so 55, 65, 70, and 3 pennies. 73 pennies, and on and on and on. There are so many different ways that we could find that value of 73 cents. Nicely done, friends. I hope your math brains are feeling really nice and warmed up now. Hopefully it's kind of got you thinking about all the different ways we can put coins and dollars together to give us a certain value. So our learning goal and objective this week is I can find the value of a variety of different coins. And then we're also going to work a little bit with using the least amount, because that is realistic to what we try to do when we are in real life situations. Using the least amount is easiest for you and the person receiving the money. All right, so we're going to go ahead and just go over our coins really quickly. Penny. This is 1 cent. It's our only copper coin, and it has Abraham Lincoln on the front. Nickel is next. It's worth 5 cents. Thomas Jefferson on the front, and it's medium in size, so smallish, but our dime is by far the smallest of our coins. Just slightly smaller than our penny right here, and it is worth 10 cents. It's Franklin D. Roosevelt on the front. And on the back it will say 1 dime. And then our largest coin, both largest in value and largest in size, is our quarter, worth 25 cents. And George Washington is on the front. It says $quarter on the back because 1 quarter is 1/4 of a dollar, or 1/4 of a dollar. You need 4 quarters to give $1. All right, and again, our money chant. You guys ready to say it nice and loud with me? Penny, penny, easily spent, copper, brown and worth 1 cent. Nickel, nickel, thick and fat, you're worth 5 cents, I know that. Dime, dime, little and thin, I remember you're worth 10. Quarter, quarter, big and bold, you're worth 25, I am told. Nicely done, friends. I could hear you saying it nice and loud with me. All right, so now we talked yesterday about some of those connections that we could make in money math. So we talked about yesterday how 5 pennies is the same value as 1 nickel. And I made that connection to when we are using tallies. So I actually just did graphing with my second graders, and one of the ways that we're using a different graph was a tally chart. And when you're making tallies on a tally chart, once you get, here's 4 tallies here, and you get to that 5th one, you bundle it and do a diagonal across. So I made that connection to this is like a nickel, and the individual tallies are just like a penny. And then I also thought about 10 cents. So 10 cents, that could be 10 pennies. And we talked about yesterday, what happens when you have 10 of something and then they change once you reach that 10? Oh yes, we made that connection to a tens rod. 1 tens rod is the same as, or makes me think of, a dime. A dime has a value of 10, and so does 1 tens rod. So the individual ones are kind of like individual pennies for 10 cents. Another way we could get 10 cents is 2 nickels as well, 5, 10. And then the last connection we made was 100 pennies. So here are 100 pennies in here. What happens when you get 100 little pennies all together? Yes, they transform into a dollar. So 100 pennies makes me think of 100 ones, just like our hundreds block here is made up of 100 ones. What's something else that a hundreds block is made up of besides 100 ones? What's another way we could say that? Oh, yes, I heard a friend say 100 ones is also the same as 10 tens. So, whoa, knocked my stuff. We have 100 pennies is the same as $1. And that's the same as 10 dimes. And it made me think immediately. I think of our hundreds block is 100 ones or 100 cents and 10 tens or 10 dimes. Nicely done, friends. You were so good at making those connections between math. You are amazing, and I'm so very impressed with you. All right, so now we're going to do some different amounts and practice our hairy money. So just a reminder again, friends, hairy money is when you take, so if you start with a penny, 1 penny is worth 1 cent. 1 hair, so 1 little hair, is worth 5. And this is a way that helps us to count as we are going. So we worked on it a little bit in the week prior, but this is a really good strategy, and just be thinking in your brain, okay, I can count by 5s, right? I'm sure by now you feel very comfortable counting by 5s. So a penny is less than 5, so it's just 1. Our penny is bald. It does not have any hair. And then if you have 5 cents. Okay, if 1 hair is worth 5 cents, how much hair does our nickel get? Yes, just 1, and it's worth 5. Then our dime is worth 10 cents. If we have hairs are worth 5, how many hairs does the dime get? Yes, 2 hairs for 5, 10. And then our last one is our quarter. And if we're using 5s, we could do 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So 25 gets 5 hairs for 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So these are all of our different coins and the hairs that they get. And as we're going, you're not just going to write 5, 10, 5, 10, or however much it is. You are going to add on as we go, because I know you're comfortable counting by 5s and working with our numbers. So let's practice, friends. All right, and I'd love it if you drew your hairy money at home as well. I like the way it looks once it's all hairy and you can see all the hairs on it. Are you ready? We're gonna shake it up. And I'm gonna grab an amount. Okay, I can see right off the bat, I have no copper pennies. So I've got 1 of these, which is a quarter. So go ahead and draw. We've actually got 2 quarters here. 2 quarters. So go ahead and write 2 quarters. Just draw your coins right now. Do not do your hairs just yet until we get all our whole amount here. So 2 quarters is 25. And then we had 1 of these little guys here, which is a dime. So draw 1 dime. And then I can see we've got 2 nickels. So here's 2 nickels. So go ahead and draw 2 little 5s. All right, now it's about to get hairy in here, friends. Are you ready? So 25. Okay, let's count by 5s until we get to 25. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So I'm gonna write really itty bitty. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So we know that 25 gets 5 hairs, so let's draw 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're at 25 right now. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. All right, we've got those hairy quarters taken care of. 2 quarters is 50 cents. All right, and a dime, we got 2 hairs on dimes for 5, 10 cents. So if we're at 50, 5 more, 55, 60. And then here we've got 2 nickels. And again, our hairs are just worth 1, are 5. So we would have 1 on each of here. We're at 60 cents right now, friends. 60, 65, and 5 more is 70. Nicely done, friends. 70 cents here. Very well done. All right, now we've got 70 cents. So what is the way that we could do 70 cents using the least amount of coins? So 2 quarters, we got 50 cents. Okay, so if we did 3 quarters, how much is 3 quarters worth? Yes, 3 quarters is worth 75 cents, but we have 70 cents, so that is too much. So 2 quarters are the only amount of quarters we can use. So we are at 50. And then our next smallest coin would be a dime. So that would give us 50, 60. Could we do another dime? Yes, nicely done. So we are almost here, actually, exactly using the least amount of coins, but we do not need to have 2 nickels. 2 nickels could come together to make another dime. So if we wanted to use the least amount of coins, we would have 50, 2 quarters, 60, 70 by using 2 dimes, 2 quarters and 2 dimes. Nicely done, friends. I can tell you're getting more comfortable with our hairy math. All right, you ready for our next amount here, friends? Oh, I got like all quarters in that one. Let's do that again. Okay, I didn't get so many on that one. So we've got all silver coins. This one is a quarter. This one is a nickel. And this one is a dime. So 1 quarter, 1 nickel, and 1 dime. So draw those out now, friends. 25 is 1 quarter, 1 nickel is 5 cents, and 1 dime is 10 cents. Are you ready to get hairy, friends? Let's get hairy. All right, 25. Who remembers how many hairs go on a quarter? You are getting so good at this so quickly, friends. 5 hairs on our quarter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And every hair is worth 5 cents. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. All right, 1 hair is worth 5. So a nickel would just be 1 hair. 25, what's 5 more? Yes, 30. Nicely done. And then we get to that dime. A dime has 2 hairs. So 30, 35, 40. All right. Hopefully this is making sense to your brain, friends. And I think that it makes it easier for us to be able to count by 5. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So we have a total of 40 cents here. All right. So we could not use 2 quarters because that would be 50 cents and that's too much. So 25, 35 for our dime. We couldn't do another dime because that would be 45. So we actually have here, using 1 quarter, 1 dime, and 1 nickel. This would be the least amount. All right, I think we have enough time to do 1 more. Are you ready, friends? Get ready to shake. Okay, let's try to get a good amount here. Ooh, all right. I got a lot of pennies on this one. So I've got 1 quarter, 1 nickel, 1 dime, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 copper, friends. So 5 pennies. So go ahead and draw it out, friends. 1 quarter, 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 big and bold. You're worth 25, I am told. And then we have 1 dime. Dime, dime, little and thin. I remember you're worth 10. Okay, next is 1 nickel. Nickel, nickel, thick and fat. You are worth 5 cents. I know that. And then we had 5 pennies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so I'm going to try something this time, friends. So we already know one of these hairs is going to be 5 cents. So do you think we could go ahead and start by putting our hairs on first? All right, let's go ahead and try. So 25, who remembers how many hairs go on our quarter? You have such an incredible memory, friends. 5 hairs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A dime gets, yes, nicely done. 2. A nickel gets 1, and poor little penny is bald as can be. But I'm going to put little dots here to make sure that we remember to count them. All right, now let's go ahead and add in our 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. All right, so we have a total of 45 cents. Nicely done, friends. Do you see how we were able to do that so quickly when we already had our hairs drawn out? All right, and what is the way we could make 45 cents using the least amount of coins? Right, so when I think of using the least amount of coins, I always start with the largest coin and the largest value, and then I work my way back down to that penny. So we've already got 1 quarter. Could I use 2 quarters? What's the value of 2 quarters? Oh, I heard a friend say a value of 2 quarters would be 50 cents. So it's 5 over, that's too much. So I can only use 1 quarter. All right, then, so if I've got 25, then our next largest coin would be our dime. So 25, 1 dime is 35. Could I use another dime? Yes, I could. So the least amount of coins would be 1 quarter and 2 dimes for 25, 35, 45. Maybe my friends noticed our 5 for our nickel and our 5 ones and immediately thought, oh, if I put our 5 cents for the nickel and our 5 cents for the pennies together, that would give us another dime. Nicely done, friends. Thank you so much for all of your hard work. You're getting so good at this. I'm so proud of you. I'll see you next time. Bye.
Teaching in Room 9 is made possible with support of Bank of America, Dana Brown Charitable Trust, Emerson, and viewers like you.